a website, like an e-commerce website, you can come up with some kind of estimate and start working because you know about it. You have got some idea. But how can you do something for example, if the senior management wants you to have a team start working and give you the plan for working on a driverless car, for instance, the self-piloted, autopilot cars that are there. It's an innovative concept. It's not something that's already there, but of course now you've got a lot of options there. So if something like that, a new concept, a new product is being created or developed, how can you kind of take that and then plan and work towards it? Because there's no clue, and it is bound to fail. And that's the reason why waterfall projects always fail, because it could not accommodate the change that is required. Even a small change had to go through a lot of loops and cycles, and small details left incomplete could actually halt the entire project. I was talking about one project, I think, was it about last month, right? About in September, we were talking a case study of one of the projects that we did for a client based in the UK. So they were into the assessments basically for the candidates who come out of the university. Depending on these assessments, they can actually judge and assess which career is good for you. So that's what they call as OPQ, Occupational Personality Questionnaire. So this questionnaire was actually designed by all the psychologists. There are a lot of PhD psychologists in that client's team. They come up with the questions and all that. So we had completed the project. It took us almost a year and a half to actually come up with something, a report, and they say, hey, you know what? Yes, we did it. But you know what the client said? Your total flop show. We are going to charge you $3 million for actually spoiling this project. We wasted so much of our time. What we have got is a report after 20 minutes, whereas the non-functional requirement, which is what is the performance requirement, says that this project, the objective of this particular system, the core system that we developed, it should be able to create a report once a candidate, the graduate from the university, once they take the assessment questionnaire, once they complete that exam, I think it would hardly take 10 minutes. Once they complete that, you should get that report to the hiring manager, not to them, but the person who is hiring them or their senior manager. They should be able to see the report within 10 minutes. Whereas at the current system was actually taking like 5 days to generate the report because it was based on old architecture. So all of these, this is what this particular simple thing about the non-functional requirement, it completely got lost in the conversations. It was not noted. BAs did not do a good job initially. They did not understand this from the point of business. The technical lead also could not have an idea in terms of the performance. They did not take that into their consideration initially. So the architecture was completely different from what it should be. End of the day, the moral of the problem of this from this particular exercise is that we totally ignored the non-functional requirement, capturing that specification initially and getting that from the client, and that missed, and that project was a total flop, total mess. And the reason for that was that simple thing, and that really derailed the whole project. So if on hindsight, if we followed Agile, then this particular problem would have surfaced not after 1.5 years, but at least, if not a week, at least in 2 weeks' time. If not in 2 weeks, at least in 3 weeks' time, when the client would have the demo or the showcase, or when we do the sprint retrospective and the sprint review sessions, this would have certainly been discussed. It would have certainly come into the discussion. We would have discussed that, and then we had identified some solution, if not in 3 weeks, but maybe in another month, maybe, right? Depending on the complexity of the problem. But we will have some solution, something to fix that, some workaround. But it cannot be just ignored for 1.5 years, and then suddenly you realize, oh my gosh, it's totally lost. The project is like grounded, all because of simple things, right? So with the Agile methodology, that's again the greatest advantage is you're engaging the customer right from the day one. The customer is engaged with the project development team on almost a day-to-day basis. They know what is happening. They know what they're expecting this week, what the team is working on this week, what are they going to deliver, and what are they going to actually show to their users, their customers. So there is a good connect. There is a kind of bonding between the customer team and the development team. And the team works empowered. They're really empowered to do the estimation. We were talking about it yesterday. The team estimate, they do the work, they do the estimation, they do the work, they deliver, they own everything. The team does the whole thing in Agile. Whereas in Waterfall, it's not like that. Everything comes from outside, either outside or from the top management, who do not have any clue about, for example, the painting. We were talking about getting a quote from a painter. Who is the best person to actually get the quote, the estimate from? Is it the painter themselves, or somebody who is sitting in the corner office, who doesn't have any idea about painting? If you get an estimate from that person, what is the most realistic one? Obviously the one from the painter, because they do the painting themselves. They know about the intricacies involved. Well, again, another problem that it actually gives us the testing. We talked about it. You do not do the testing till about the development is done, which is about 3/4 of the project is done. That's when you do the testing, big bang, you come up with all the defects. Then it takes a lot of time to fix those defects. It takes another 1.5 years for you to fix those defects. So again, definitely a recipe for